standing in front of a historic piece of equipment. I simply call this the cage. This is a historic piece of equipment because in the original X Fitness, starting in 1985, it created a turnaround, a transformation. It transformed the worst losing culture I've ever seen in my life, and it turned them into winners in less than a year. 1984 was my first year as head coach, a 26-year-old head coach of a high school. I'm not even sure if that's even normal. A 26-year-old being in charge of a group of high school kids, in charge of their safety, in charge of high-risk training, trying to move them all in the same direction to win a bunch of football games. In 1984, we got the piss beat out of us horribly. Nightmare. Won one game. One game. The entire season was a disaster. We got pushed around. We got smashed to the ground. We couldn't tackle. We couldn't block. None of the fundamentals. We couldn't exercise the simplest fundamental skill necessary to win. We won one game, and that was divine intervention. At the end of the season, end of October, I made an announcement. Gym is opening up. We didn't have a gym at the high school. I opened the gym down my basement. I've been working out since 1969, since I was 12. My home gym, I expanded it. This cage was the first thing that we had built. Don't ignore simplicity. That's what this cage represents. This is the most simplest piece of equipment. It's got 4 pillars of iron. It's got a bunch of holes in it. You can move the stands up and down. It has a chin-up bar. Every single exercise that you need to make big muscle, to get bigger and faster and stronger, to get mentally tough, every single thing that you need to win can be done right here in this cage, with or without a flat bench. You want to do heavy squats? Right here. This is the safest machine. I think that's not a machine. It's the safest piece of equipment. Safest piece of equipment to do squats. The safest piece of equipment to do bench press because it has safety racks right here. The bar will not come crashing down on you. There's not enough time in this video for me to list the names of the people, the honor roll, who have gone through this cage for years and years, tens of thousands of reps, and they not only won championships, but they moved on to the next level. Between 1984 and 1985, those 2 seasons, there was 9 months. During that 9 months, people bench pressed, they squatted, they deadlift, close grip bench press, chin-ups, curls, everything that you can imagine, basic, simple skills. I call them sacred exercises. They're in my new book called Explode, the X Fitness Training System. We don't complicate anything. Never ignore simplicity. In a span of 9 months, we went from a horrendous nightmare of a 1-win season to an undefeated 10-0 perfect season championship. 9 months. What's the only thing that changed? Iron. Everybody made muscle. They rolled up their sleeve and they showed their pipes. What's the big deal to that? Lots. Psychological advantage. You roll up the sleeves, you show your biceps, you show your triceps. There's nothing wrong with rolling up your sleeves. There's nothing narcissistic about showing the other team a message. It's showing a message. You're conveying nonverbal communication. That means I have busted my ass in the gym, and anybody, any opponent will know that when you have busted your ass in the gym, you are a force. You're a force to be contended with. And if you haven't busted your ass in the gym, the message is clear. You already know that you're going to get your ass kicked, and you're going to get your ass kicked back. Because winning and losing, the difference is this cage right here. This cage here has been the difference between perfect seasons and imperfect seasons. Every single perfect season that we've had, people have committed themselves to squatting and bench pressing and all the sacred exercises inside this particular device. In 2001, when we opened the current X Fitness, the commercial X Fitness, X Fitness Incorporated, 2001, what was the first item that we moved in here? Symbolically, we moved this cage to this location like a spot in the Hall of Fame. There's nothing pretty about it. As a matter of fact, there's nothing complicated. When people say, what do you guys have at X Fitness? You show them this. People are expecting shiny equipment. People are expecting all sorts of state-of-the-art comfort. We've got some fantastic equipment. This is not a commercial for Hammer Strength, but Hammer Strength makes phenomenal equipment. It's the closest thing to free weights I've ever used in my life. I use it all the time. This right here is the truth. This cage. This is the truth. This cage, truthfully, will transform you. Guaranteed. I will promise you that. It'll transform you. Any age, man, woman, male, female, does not matter. It will transform you mentally, it'll transform you physically. The problem with truth, though, is this. The truth is painful, and many people don't want to hear the truth. But those who buy into this, buy into the truth, will never, ever regret the struggle, the discomfort, the hurdles, the mountains that you've got to climb inside this cage. You'll be able to squat more, bench more, but there's a complete transformation. One of my former players called it a spiritual experience. We had team training that connected previously hopeless football players into souls of lifters, and that connection stayed with them for life. To be continued.